I'm still absolutely stuck in two minds, really. My biggest problem with this car is that because it's a classic car, even though it's a Mini, they require a lot of maintenance. They require a lot of upkeep to keep them driving every day. And if you don't do that, then they just, it's like because it's a car, they like go out of tune. Like you kind of have to tune them up again. And then like finding people that can do it is quite hard. I did used to know a business, and it was like two old boys which have gone out of business now, and they're both retired. And that's one of the things that puts me off keeping the A-Series engine in it. As much as I do love the A-Series engine, I love the way the Mini drives. I love everything about Minis as they are, but I also love really wild extreme Minis, like mid-engine, rear-wheel drive, space-framed Minis. It's almost like I need two Minis, but I definitely don't have time or money for two Minis. I've barely got that for one. So I've always been toying with the idea of an engine swap, and it was always with the idea of putting the engine in the front, more modern engine, keep it simple, just use a modified front subframe, and just kind of just make it easier to live with day to day. A fuel injected engine, but I don't know if because it would definitely change the way the car drives, and then you don't know if you enjoy it as much. I'm sure I would, but it's like that. Other people probably get it when you're just stuck in two minds. I don't really know which way to go. I mean, I'd almost categorically decided K20 in the back, rear wheel drive, and then again I talked myself out of it. It's like I talked myself into it, then I talked myself out of it. And at some point I've got to just make a decision and go for it. And I'm kind of on the side of the more extreme side, which is probably rear wheel drive, modern Honda engine. K20s are definitely the way to go. It's like value for money in terms of what power you can get out of an engine naturally aspirated. There aren't many engines out there that you can get that kind of power out of reliably, that have VTEC and sound cool and upset people like putting a Honda engine in a Mini does do. I'm not sure it really does anymore actually though, because so many people do it and there's so many Minis, it don't really matter. It's not like it's putting a modern engine in something really rare. Minis aren't rare at all. So yeah, I'm still stuck on the fence, because part of me would also like to just put a K20 in the front, because that way you kind of keep the back seats, you keep it looking very Mini. But I worry that although the K20 is not much heavier than an A-Series, because an A-Series is a cast iron block and head, and they're super heavy for the size of the engine, I worry that again it becomes very nose heavy. And yeah, I mean, it's like there's no perfect solution, because like the perfect solution would be like aluminium block, aluminium A-Series head, fully rebuilt A-Series, fuel injected, turboed, make 200 horsepower all day long. The problem is most of those solutions exist, but you're getting into like 20-25 grand for an engine, and I can't justify paying that for a car that really doesn't do any mileage when you can get a Honda K20 for £1,000, which does the same with a better gearbox. So I guess what would you do? K20 in the front, K20 in the back, rebuilt A-Series, fuel injected, turboed. I kind of think I'm going to go K20 in the back. I think obviously it's totally different. That's the thing. Like it's totally different in terms of like how the Mini drives, but I think it would be if it was in the front anyway. I think it would be very nose heavy, because it is heavier than the A-Series. The gearbox is on the side, and that kind of messes with the Mini's weight distribution, because the gearbox on an A-Series is underneath the engine. So yeah, I think I'm going on in the back. The problem with in the back is it probably will take me about 5 years to finish it. Not that I've driven the car in a while anyway. So yeah. What would you do? Don't know.